Hi everyone, today we're going to be planting up this border behind me, which I like to refer to as the top border, and that's because it's slightly raised from the patio where I'm standing. If you're new to my channel, my name's Annette and this is Cottoverdi, and we garden here in a gorgeous English cottage garden. It's a beautiful walled garden and we live in South Buckinghamshire in the UK, which is equivalent to a zone 8B. And this channel is all about what we do here in our garden and just giving you tips and advice that I've learnt over the years. So as I said, today we're planting up this top border behind me on the shadier side. So we're kind of I'm standing what would be north facing. So the other side of these obelisks here, I've got two obelisks, there's the other one there. So on this side of the border, I've moved further away so that you can see the sleepers that we've got holding it up. So we're planting the top bed, not this bottom one. And when I say we're planting it, we're just adding some, excuse the plane. Every time it's a beautiful day, we have these biplanes flying over, which, you know, can be a little bit annoying. Just because they're so loud. Why do they have to be so loud? Anyway, I guess it's, you know, what happens when you live in beautiful countryside. So what we're doing is we're adding some plants to this side of this border. I keep saying the same thing, don't I? Sorry. And I'm going to take you through what we're adding. I'll put the name and pictures up on the screen and I'll show you what the plants look like now. A lot of them I got as very small plants, and I'm just going to let you know why I've chosen those particular plants and why I'm placing them here in on the shadier side of this border, and you know, the look that I'm trying to create. And I'll also cover the tulips that we planted in that border last week or 2 weeks ago, because I didn't film that process and I thought you might be interested in what I'm expecting to pop up this year. So it's a gorgeous sunny day here and it's quite cold. We had a really hard frost last night, but this is what the border looks like currently. So I have tidied this border here. I've cut back all the perennials. We've cleared away all the weeds. When I say we, Richard did that. And we're going to plant up this edge here. Now, I've got a couple of things along the edge already. I've got some alliums there, gorgeous alliums. And I've also got, just in front of each of the obelisks here, I've got a beautiful hydrangea called Laneth White, but I only planted them last year, so they're really pretty small. They just look like twigs at this time of year. I've also got some more alliums here, and there are a couple of other things. There's a eupatorium either side of the obelisks just here. It's a lovely white eupatorium. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a lot of the plants where I want them, and then Richard is going to help me. I love it at the weekend when I can rope Richard in to helping me climb in there and do all the mucky stuff, and he really likes it. In fact, he loves weeding. He finds it really satisfying. So we're a really good combination as a pair, because I find weeding really boring. I mean, I will do it, but if he enjoys it, I let him do it. So he's done a lot of the weeding, and we are going to mulch these borders afterwards, and I'll show you what we use and how we do that when we've finished. But I wanted to make sure I planted everything that I wanted planted. Oh, we're also going to move some plants, actually. I should mention that. Let's go round and look at the plants that I'm going to move just quickly. If you saw my previous video when we were clearing this border and cutting back all the hardy perennials, I mentioned that I wanted to move the Caryopteris. We've got two Caryopteris, one near each obelisk. And this is a gorgeous Caryopteris called White Surprise, and it was planted further back here and it was just too far back because it was never going to grow tall enough, so we've moved it forwards here. So over here we planted where I've got this stake sort of marking the patch, and you can see we've mulched on top of it. Hopefully you can see that. I planted two tulips, a combination of Holland Beauty and Blue Amiable. Holland Beauty is this gorgeous pink tulip with sort of creamy edges, and Blue Amiable is the most incredible bluey purple colour. Now, I haven't grown Blue Amiable before, but it looks spectacular and I'm very excited. So I've kind of got patches here, I've got another one where this stake is, and we've got more further down the border. So this is the other Caryopteris that we moved forwards. But what I want to get Richard to do today is to move the spirea. So in front of each obelisk, I've planted a spirea called Gempii, but I think it's just a little bit too close. Like, looking at it, I feel like it's going to grow into the rows that we've got planted in each obelisk, and these are called blush noisette. But I feel like this spirea just needs to come forwards. Also, just behind this obelisk here, we used to have a dogwood planted, and we dug it out last year, moved it to the grass border. But what's happened is we've got loads of little suckers where we didn't get all the root out, and they've started popping up. And what I want to do is actually dig these up and move them over to the grass border, because I do love the plant. I just didn't want it in this border here. So we need to get those out before they come even bigger. So one of the first things I'm planting today is this gorgeous euphorbia. This one is called Silver Edge, and it's going to grow to 60 by 60. It's a really lovely compact shape, and it's got this silvery grey-green foliage, and it's got like creamy margins to it on the edge. And in the spring, it's going to have gorgeous yellow flowers. And I think this is going to really shine out. So I've got 3 of these that I'm going to plant along the edge of the border. So 60 by 60 is that 2 foot by 2 foot? Something like that. I think, and they've got these gorgeous red stems. I think they're so, so pretty. Oh, and they like full sun to part shade. So I've chosen everything that can tolerate part shade. So that side of the border is going to get morning sun for most of the year, not at this time of the year, but it will get morning sun. And then by the afternoon, it'll sort of get sun from the back because it's going to shine this way. So a lot of the stuff planted along that edge will be in the shade. So everything that I'm putting in this border on this side needs to tolerate part shade. So the next things that I'm planting don't really look like much at the moment, but this is what a geranium looks like at this time of year. Now, I will tidy it up. I'm going to just cut off all the dead foliage. But geranium cendrine, which, geranium cendrine, which is what this is it's got bright green foliage. It's going to grow to 60 by 60 again. And it's got these gorgeous magenta flowers with darker centres to them. And I think it's going to really stand out with euphorbia. I think it's going to be a really nice pop of colour. I'm really happy because it grows quite tall and it's going to be kind of airy and gorgeous. It really doesn't look like much now, but as I said, just needs tidying up and then it's going to look fantastic. And I've got 5 of those. So I should mention that euphorbia is going to flower in spring, but the geranium is going to flower all through the summer, so sort of from May through to October. Now the next plant I've got is a gorgeous penstemon. So this is what it looks like now. Now I don't cut my penstemons back until they start producing new shoots. I feel like it protects them. I mean, they're super hardy and really easy to grow, penstemons. This is a penstemon called Wedding Day. Pension Wedding Day. This is a penstemon called Pension Wedding Day, which is quite appropriate since we're going to have a wedding celebration in our garden this summer for my son and daughter-in-law. But it's going to have gorgeous tubular white flowers. Sometimes they have a little pink edge to them, but this is going to grow to 80 centimetres tall by about 50 wide, something like that. So it's going to be a taller spark of white, and penstemons, literally, they flower all summer long, June right the way through to October, November. Sometimes you can have flowers in December too, especially if you keep deadheading, but they're super hardy here in the UK. So the next thing that I've got is 6 of these Veronicas. This is a Veronica called Veronica gentianoides light blue, and it's got the most beautiful pale blue flowers sometimes with a darker vein to them. And I have got these in other borders in the garden, and I love them because they start flowering sort of April time, April through to June, something like that. And they just are such a fresh, bright colour. Well, they're not bright, but they're like, it's like a sparkle at that time of year, especially amongst, brighter tulips and other things. And I think this is going to look really good, again, with the euphorbia, which is going to have that silvery grey foliage. So I think I've got 6 of these, and I'm just going to spread them around. They sort of form like a low mat, a good ground cover, or, I've planted them in pots, in containers in the past. So that is also good. But these are super hardy, down to like -15. They're going to withstand loads, and other than deadheading, there's really not much you need to do. It's a great ground cover. And the other thing that I've got is, you can see there's a blue theme going on because these are forget-me-nots. This is a forget-me-not called Compendii. I think compindii, but it's got apparently an exceptional shade of dark blue. So I'm really looking forward to having those. I mean, these are tiny plants at the moment, but they grow to, you know, sort of normal forget-me-not size, sort of 15 centimetres high by 20, 30 centimetres wide. And again, it'll be another sort of really nice green colour, green foliage ground cover when it's not in flower, but I'm really looking forward to having that tint of blue. And I've got some other campanulas and things along that edge too, so I just think it's going to be a lovely continuation of the blue theme, which will tie in with all the pale pinks and the whites that I've also got in that border. So I am just going to place these now, and then we'll get to planting them. I may get Richard to do a lot of the planting, just because I've got other things that I need to do in the garden, and once they're placed, he's really good at planting. So the first things I'm going to place are these penstemons, and I think I just kind of want a swathe over here near where the alliums are, because they're going to cover up the horrible allium foliage when it dies, but they'll also just be really nice to have sort of the white with the blue at the same time. I don't know whether they will flower when the alliums flower, because sometimes the penstemons in this garden flower a little bit later, but I'm going to pop them in here like that. So I've kind of got 3 here, and then these are the euphorbia. Now I want the euphorbia around the other side of this gorgeous purple lilac. I don't know what the name of this purple lilac is, but I think the euphorbia is going to look spectacular offset by the lilac, and the euphorbia will flower probably before the lilac has completely leafed out. So these are the gorgeous magenta geraniums, and I want to spread these out so there's sort of pops of colour popping up everywhere. So these are the light blue veronicas. I definitely want some by the euphorbia. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pop them 3 either side actually. That's possibly what I'll do. So this is where the Laneth White hydrangea is. So actually I don't want to plant them too close to that. But I'm going to plant these, the Veronica I'm putting in a nice little clump here. And I'm going to do equal and opposite on this side. And pop them here. So this is where I've placed the penstemons, and I've kind of put them in the middle of the alliums, because penstemons kind of form a bushy plant like this one here, so that will hide all the debris from the alliums, which will hopefully they will grow taller than the penstemons. And then the little black pots at the front, these are the geraniums, so that's the lovely magenta colour there. And then let's move down. So I've dotted the little forget-me-nots around. There's a triangle here of the light blue Veronica. This is where I've put the euphorbia on the other side of, this is a big purple lilac. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I think the euphorbia would be quite happy here. As you can see, it does get morning sun, but it's definitely going to have some shade during the day. And then I've just popped more forget-me-nots along the front. Here I've got an equal and opposite triangle of the Veronica, more forget-me-nots, and then some more geraniums. This corner over here actually gets quite a lot of sun in the morning until we place the pots on the patio. When the pots are on the patio in the summer, this will be quite a shaded area. So I don't know if they'll survive, but I can always move those if I need to at a later date. gosh, so it's all planted. Richard has done a great job and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see everything as it starts to flower in the spring and then right through the seasons, right the way through to November. I'm probably going to have some colour from these things that I've planted. I'm super excited. I really like the contrast of the colours that I've chosen and I can't wait to see it. A lot of people ask me how I choose the plants and decide where everything's going, and I use a spreadsheet, but that's just because that's what I enjoy the most. But you could always just do it on paper, you know, cut out pictures from catalogues of the plants that you'd like to use. I always check for height and I check for when they're going to flower, and of course, you know, you have to choose something that's going to be happy in the spot you're planting it, because otherwise you're just not going to get the performance out of that plant that you want. So if it is a part shaded area and it gets less than 6 hours of sun, you know, I would definitely call that part shaded, and so you need to choose plants that are going to be happy there, and then, you know, go with your colour scheme and then go with you know, the height of the plants. Try to get different heights and different textures. It's always another good thing to go for, and I just sort of plan it all out on a spreadsheet and make my choices that way. So after we've planted, and at least once a year, we mulch the beds. We tend to do it in the winter. It's normally after I've planted because I've always got a lot of planting to do still because it's such a new garden. And we use well-rotted farmyard manure. So don't use fresh manure because it will scorch your plants. They won't be happy. But if you can get hold of well-rotted farmyard manure, then that's a really good structure to add to your soil, and it also adds a lot of goodness. It will protect the plants and the new shoots, and the worms will just draw the mulch down into the soil over the season. So when we're mulching, it's much better to put a thick layer on a small area than just to put a thin layer. So do make sure you're putting a significant amount of mulch down, because that will, you know, prevent weeds growing, it will retain moisture in the soil, and it's just going to add a really nice structure. But that's it for today. I really hope you've had fun with us and you found this interesting and useful. Maybe it's given you some ideas for plants that you would like to put in your garden, and ideas about ways to combine different plants with different colour schemes and different structures, so that you can create something that's colourful throughout the season and not just for a couple of months. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.